Have you ever had one of those mornings where everything just goes wrong? You wake up late, your alarm didn't ring, you spill your cereal, and then it hits you. You forgot your homework. Now, imagine that happening on the worst possible day, when your teacher is the strictest in school. This is the story of Daniel, a shy 12-year-old boy who forgot his homework one morning. But that tiny mistake led to something much bigger, a moment that changed how he saw himself forever. Stay till the end, because what Daniel did next will make you believe that courage can come from the most unexpected places. It was a cold Monday morning. Daniel's alarm didn't go off, and by the time he woke up, he was already late. His room looked like a storm had passed through. Books on the floor, clothes everywhere. "Mom, why didn't you wake me up?" he shouted while trying to find his socks. "You said you set your alarm," his mom called back, already packing his lunch. Daniel rushed out the door, hair messy, shoelaces untied, and halfway down the street, he froze. His heart dropped. My homework! He had spent all Sunday working on it, but he left it on his desk. He thought about turning back, but there was no time. The school bell would ring any minute. Daniel's teacher, Mr. John, was known as the Hawk. He noticed everything. One missing assignment could mean detention for a week. When Daniel entered class, everyone was already seated. Mr. John stood at the front with his arms crossed. "Good morning, class," he said sternly. "I hope everyone remembered their weekend assignment." Daniel's palms started sweating. His heart pounded like a drum. He tried to hide behind his desk, praying Mr. John wouldn't call his name. "Daniel," the teacher said slowly. "Your homework?" The room went silent. All eyes turned to him. Daniel swallowed hard. I forgot it at home, sir." Mr. John's eyebrows shot up. "Forgot it? That's not like you, Daniel. You know the rules." "I know, sir. No excuses. You'll stay after school today." The class snickered. Daniel's face turned red. He felt small, like the floor could swallow him whole. At lunch, things got worse. A group of boys, led by the class bully, started teasing him. "Hey, genius!" James laughed. "Forgot your brain, too?" The table erupted in laughter. Daniel clenched his fists, but said nothing. He hated confrontation. He sat under the big oak tree outside, alone. He opened his lunchbox, but had no appetite. He just stared at the sky, wondering why everything had gone wrong. That's when he noticed something strange. A small boy from the lower grade, Peter, was being surrounded by the same bullies. They were snatching his lunch and mocking him. Daniel froze. His heart pounded again, but this time not from fear of punishment, from something deeper. He knew that feeling, the embarrassment, the helplessness. He looked around. No teachers were nearby, just him. He took a deep breath, stood up, and walked toward them. "Hey, leave him alone!" Daniel shouted. The bullies turned around, surprised. "Well, look who's talking," James sneered. "The homework boy wants to be a hero now?" Daniel's legs trembled, but he didn't move. "I said leave him alone." James stepped closer. "Or what?" Daniel didn't have an answer. His voice shook, but his eyes didn't. "Just stop." For a moment, no one said a word. The air was thick with tension. Then, to everyone's shock, James backed off. He laughed it off and told his friends to go. Peter looked up at Daniel with teary eyes. "Thank you." Daniel smiled weakly. "It's okay." He walked back to his tree, his heart still racing. But this time, it felt different. It felt good. For the first time in his life, Daniel had stood up for someone else. And for himself. After school, Daniel went to Mr. John's class for detention. He expected anger, maybe even a lecture. But when he entered, Mr. John looked up from his desk and said quietly, "Daniel, I heard what you did today." Daniel froze. "You did?" "Yes." Mrs. Regina told me you stood up to Peter. That took courage. Daniel blushed. I just couldn't let them keep picking on Peter. Mr. John nodded slowly. You may have forgotten your homework, Daniel, but you remembered something far more important: to do what's right. He smiled slightly, something no one had ever seen him do. Go home. Forget the detention. Daniel couldn't believe it. Really? Really. But next time, don't forget your homework, Mr. John said with a grin. The next morning, Daniel woke up early. His homework was neatly packed. When he walked into class, the other students looked at him differently. Even James avoided eye contact. Peter waved at him shyly from his seat. Mr. John began the lesson, but before he started,
he said, "Sometimes we learn more from our mistakes than from our successes." Daniel reminded us of that yesterday. Daniel felt his face warm, but this time, it wasn't from shame. It was pride. From that day on, Daniel wasn't just the quiet boy who always followed the rules. He was the boy who found his courage when it mattered most. He learned that bravery doesn't mean not being scared, it means doing what's right even when you're scared. And sometimes, forgetting something small can help you remember something far greater. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. Remember, courage doesn't come from perfection. It comes from the moments you choose to do the right thing. Because just like Daniel, you never know when your small act of courage might change someone's life, including you watching. If you want to learn how to create this kind of video with just your phone without stress, then click on the description button below to know this perfect stunning video.